Good people, good people, good people in the building. Another Friday night. Got two guys that, if you've been listening, you know very well. If you haven't been listening, shame on you. Start listening. Number one is your boy Cool McCain in the building, co-host. You know what all the places you can catch me. We might talk about them later, maybe not. But if you look right below me, it'll tell you where you can go and see everything. No problems. And beside me, right over here, Stephen Box. What up, Box?
What's up, man? You know what I'm saying? I see you wrecking your Eagles stuff tonight, man. I'm sleeping a little bit. I ain't had time to get my set up, but representing my 49ers on their bye week. So
Hey, man.
we're not gonna talk about my other football team. They trash.
I'm just happy that we winning games. I ain't running around bragging on that because I ain't used to this when it comes to college. So I'm just happy to be here.
So you Marshawn Lynch tonight when it comes to your college team?
I'm just here so I don't get fined. I don't know. I feel like every week I'd be like, I don't know. Something crazy gonna happen. But it's been all good so far. So I ain't mad at it. But they scarred me for so many years, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't constantly scar somebody and abuse somebody emotionally and then expect them to just trust you.
It makes sense, man.
That's why I'm as a Miami Hurricanes fan, man. I'm glad that we're doing well, but they just abused me so much in the past with tricking me. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the other foot gonna fall at any time. It's just emotional trauma.
We need to get you like one of the little dolls so you can point exactly what Hurricanes hurt you at.
I'll point to my heart, my soul, and my mind.
Ridiculous.
That's what it hurt me at, man. But we got a lot to get into tonight, man. And we're gonna start off with a little thing we started last week. We want to break it up for everybody. We know the season started with a few games in, so these may or may not be more accurate now that we've seen a few games. You know how we go. Sometimes we don't care what you show us in 3 or 4 games. But we are going to do our second half of our NBA preview, and we're going to look into the Western Conference and who is going to win each division in our mind in the Western Conference. All right, so we'll start at the very top, the Northwest. So the Northwest consists of the Utah Jazz, the Portland Trailblazers, Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Denver Nuggets. So, Box, who do you think will be the last team in this division? I'm going to go Portland Trailblazers because I think they are the hottest pile of garbage in the Northwest.
Yeah, it's I'm having trouble between two teams here.
But the other one is next. The other one's next.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go and give you my 4 and my 5. I'm sure we're gonna agree here. I got Utah at 4 and Portland at 5.
Yes, I also have Utah at 4.
Yeah, I figured we were in agreement on that. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so the top 3 is a little bit more interesting. We got OKC regular season Warriors. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves. Strong showing last year. Is it something they're gonna be able to do over the course of a season, or are they playoff? Are they playoff Minnesota? And then you got the Denver Nuggets. Regular season, I'm gonna go Minnesota 3rd because I think one of the things about young teams is that consistent winning, especially once you kind of announce that we here and people get up to play you. So I'm gonna say they're gonna be a little bit further back, but I don't think there's a large gap between 1 and 3 in the Northwest.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I also have them in 3rd.
All right, number 2 in the Northwest, I got the Denver Nuggets. And simply it comes down to the fact that Oklahoma City is regular season Warriors. They'll go out there and win 65, 60, 58, 60 games in the regular season because that's what they do. They're young. They feel like that number 1 seed is of impeccable importance to them for winning. I can see Denver, if they can make a trade and get another impactful player on both sides of the ball, preferably somebody that plays the 5, maybe making it a battle, but I don't see anybody really taking Oklahoma City out because, like I said, SGA, that team is built for regular season success, and I don't see anybody taking it away from them. So I'm going to go Denver second, Minnesota first.
Yeah, I like both of these teams. I think that it could be a very close race. It could be one of those things that comes down really to like the last week of the season to kind of determine who's going to get this division. But I'm also going to go Oklahoma City just for the fact that, like you said, younger, maybe a little bit more depth at this point. So they are more
Definitely
built
depth.
for the season, right? Because they're going to be able to sustain injuries and that attrition of going through a season. So I think that helps them to win out and get the top seed in this division with your Denver Nuggets coming in second.
All right, we'll move on to the Pacific. So for those of you who may not be aware, Pacific Division, Sacramento Kings, Phoenix Suns, Los Angeles Lakers, Los Angeles Clippers, Golden State Warriors. This is an interesting division to pick because it's probably the best overall division in the NBA. Because you kind of look at this and there's a couple of teams you feel like if things flow correctly could be really good.
Mm-hmm.
But we know one team is going to have a starter that's probably going to play 45 games. With that being said, you don't have playoff P there. You got a star that couldn't even play in the Olympics, still ain't ready to play. But you're not the worst team in the division I'm going to pick. I'm actually going to go with Sacramento being at the bottom.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go with Sacramento being at the bottom of this division. But this division could get really all five of their teams into the playoffs, even being at the bottom.
I got to ask now, why are you putting Sacramento at the bottom?
Well, Golden State's looking a lot better. They've got a Splash brother to play along Steph again. So with that being said, they're going to be better. The Clippers, I think, have enough to not be the bottom team in the division. I think the Lakers are looking better so far. They're kind of understanding who they are. And then the Suns, there's no way KD is going to let their team not in last place in the division. Like they got to really contend. They want to be a top contender in the playoffs. Can't do that if you're at the bottom of the division. So I see Sacramento as a team who kind of slides down this year.
Okay, I was just curious why you felt like they would be at the very bottom. I actually had the Clippers at the bottom. I don't see them having Kawhi healthy enough. They don't have Paul George anymore. So I just don't know that this team has enough, especially when they have to play so many games against the other teams in this division. I think that's going to really hurt them. I got them finishing last.
All right. I got them finishing fourth.
Fourth, I do have the Kings. So I'm not completely surprised that you had the Kings down kind of low, but I was just surprised that you actually had them dead last.
Yeah, and then third, I'm gonna have to go with the Suns. Put the Suns third because I don't know if the big three is ever going to play together. And I think when it's a big two, it's easier to put them in situations where you can beat them. I don't think they did enough to really shore up the defense. And I feel like this is a team who's going to be kind of fighting for like 5th, 6th seed, somewhere there in the playoffs.
Yeah, they are a team that really did kind of have their struggles last year, but I need to see a little bit more out of Golden State before I can move them up. So I'm actually going to have them at third.
Okay. Then at second, I have the Los Angeles Lakers. I think they have a better idea of who they are this year. I think for some reason, sometimes it just takes guys a while to gel together. It's not any necessary like big moves that need to be made. Just a gelling process. Just guys looking like, all right, they look like they can play together now. And I feel like even in the offseason, uh, you could see that from the Lakers. I don't know if it's the change of coach, maybe a different philosophy for LeBron since now his son's on the team as well. But it looks different. Even watching them in the preseason, they just look different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll be much better than they were last season as far as where they're finishing in the division.
Yeah, I've right now. I'm kind of struggling to choose between the Lakers and the Suns. I think both kind of has some issues and concerns about health, being able to keep guys on the court. But I do like what I've seen out of LA. I like the fact that they're playing a lot more defense. Like you said, they seem to actually have kind of an identity. And if they're getting this kind of production out of AD and he can actually stay healthy, which is a big if,
Excuse me.
but I'm basing this prediction on the idea that he might actually stay healthy. I'm going to go with Phoenix at 2 and LA at 1. But I will also say, in all honesty, that top 3 could completely flip, and any of those teams in the top 3 could easily win this division.
Yeah, I've got Golden State winning. Buddy Hield, he won't do it every night, but if you can have Buddy Hield going off one night, Steph Curry going off one night, right? Kuminga sliding to the bench to give the second unit a very poignant scorer, a guy who can get the ball in the goal, who can play with the starters but can play with the second unit as well. Um, Steve Kerr doesn't do a lot for me coaching-wise with this team, but I will say this. When they play Boston and Indiana, they're not going to win those games. They're not beating Boston and Indiana this year. They're getting dog walked by both of those teams. Steve Kerr disrespected star players on those teams, and they're not going to forget that. Probably Philadelphia, too, because he didn't really use Embiid like that, but a couple of games. So I think there are some teams that have some personal vendettas against Golden State, but I think Golden State still can do enough with an aging, but let's be honest, the skill set that Steph Curry really has, as long as he can shoot the ball, make some passes, he's good, right? He's not a guy that ever played defense. Right. So we can't talk about like, oh, his decline on defense. He never played defense. That's right. That's not going to change. No, he's not driving to the hole, getting rebounds and stuff like that. Like he'll go to the hole every once in a while, but he's mainly what? A shooter. Yeah. Reggie Miller could have played till he was 45 if he was able to play the way Steph Curry played. And that's not a knock to Steph Curry at all. I'm just saying he's been able to do it with what he can do on the offensive side of the ball and not necessarily what he does on the defensive side of the ball. So offense, long range, you keep for a long time, especially when you practice it every day. So I think he's not going to have that decline. I do think Buddy Hield makes a huge difference on this team. Just the right role for him and being able to go out there and have a green light when you play and just play your game. I think that's going to be huge for his growth and development on this team. So I think that's a big reason why, for me, Golden State, they had, to me, the best player they brought into the division this year. And couple that with some other guys hopefully being healthy and better than they were last year. This should be a team that should do a lot. We'll see if it comes to pass, but that's our thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily disagree with anything you threw out there. I want to see a little bit more out of them before I put them up there. But I will acknowledge that any of those top 3 teams could very easily win that division. So it's probably the most up for grabs division.
Yeah, I would say that. I definitely agree with that. All right, and in the Southwest, Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets, New Orleans Pelicans, Memphis Grizzlies, and San Antonio Spurs. So,
a little less up for grabs.
A little less up for grabs. So at the bottom of this division, I have the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio Spurs will probably be a little bit better than last year. Wembanyama, I mean, rookie of the year, that's cool, but you're not about to win no MVP. You've got a ways to go. You got some work to put in. You got some dues to pay. And you're going to have some great games. It's going to be some games where the media don't even talk about you because you played bad. I think they're just the least talented team in that division. And to me, that translates into being at the bottom of the division. Even though you probably have the best coach in the division, you have the least amount of talent.
Yeah, it's just and not just a lack of talent, but the talent they do have is really young. So this is just a team that still needs a few pieces. They're still developing. So I'd agree they're going to be at last.
Houston Rockets will be next. Houston's a little bit better than probably how they finished last year, but they're another team, a lot of young talent. They've got a couple of vets, but a lot of young talent, and they need a little bit more maturation. But another year or two, the Houston team you're going to have to watch out for. But to me, not this year, not yet.
Yeah, I'm about 50-50 between them and New Orleans. If Zion can actually be healthy for once, then New Orleans should be able to take that third spot with Houston being 4. But if they continue to have some of the injury issues that they've dealt with, I could see Houston ended up taking that third spot. So I'm just gonna throw those two at 4 and 5, and we'll see where they land. Which one is which?
You mean 3 and 4, right?
Yeah, 3 and 4. Sorry.
You good? All right. So at 3 for me, I'm going to put the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas still doesn't do a lot defensively. And one thing about the NBA, when you don't play defense, it's cool to score a lot of points, but you can get a lot of points scored on you as well. So I feel like Dallas is not going to be able to get stops when they need, and that's going to put them in the third position for me.
Okay.
All right, top 2. I'll let you go first on number 2 since I went back to back. Who's your number 2? You might as well do 2 and 1, right? Who's your number 2 and number 1?
Yeah, I've actually got Dallas at number 2. I'm assuming that Ja Morant is done with all his foolishness, and he's going to stop getting suspended, and he's going to be very well rested at this point, right? His body's had plenty of time to rest up, so I've actually think they're going to win this division.
I have New Orleans at 2. I'm assuming Zion is going to be healthy. A healthy Zion makes that team immensely better. Of course, we haven't seen that yet, so we're going off of estimations here. But if there's a year to do it, you might as well do it at this point. So and then of course, Ja Morant is back, bro. Come on, Ja Morant is back.
As long as he's through acting foolish off the court.
Stop playing me. Ja Morant is back. Was injured at the end of the year last year. So he had some other things, but the injury really hurt because even when he missed the games and came back, they were starting to climb, then he got hurt. So he should be fully back this year from game 1. Stop playing with Ja. Don't forget who Ja is because some of these other cats. Stop playing with Ja.
I've already agreed with you, sir. I've already agreed with you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, stop playing with Ja. Y'all. Don't forget about Ja. Just because he was out, don't forget him. Don't forget him. All right. So, we're about a week and a half into the season, so we're gonna really talk about standings or nothing at this point. Just stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned, because those things will be happening. They will be coming. We just like to get a couple of weeks in before we really start talking what's happening. Just because, I mean, you need some basis. I need to see you play more than 3-4 times before I can really say how you gonna play. So tune in with your boy, lock in. We'll be talking some NBA. We're gonna give it a little bit of time. But we're gonna slide it in anyway, but we're gonna give it a little bit of time at the same time. That's what we do. Excuse me. So we'll move on to NCAA college football. We are at week 10, y'all.
It's hard to believe.
Week 10. And of course, got a game tonight. The top 25 and lots of games on Saturday. But before we get to week 10, anything about week 9, Mr. Box? the upsets, any surprise outcomes, any of that you would like to talk about?
We had a couple of close calls. I told people, watch out, Vanderbilt might pull the upset. They came within 3 points of knocking off Texas. K-State almost messed around, lost to Kansas, had to pull that game out in the last minute. But one upset we did have that I know I predicted. I can't remember if we both did. Texas A&M did beat LSU.
Yeah, I picked that too.
SMU had a close call, won in overtime, 28-27 over Duke. But to me, maybe the biggest surprise was Navy, who's been on a roll, going up against Notre Dame, who's had their ups and downs, and Notre Dame just smashed them, 51-14. So couple surprises.
I think Georgia did a little something last week too, if I remember correctly.
Georgia was on bye last week, so they ain't do night.
That was the week before last. They did a little something.
Yeah, it was the week before last.
Okay. Yeah, my week's been running a little together, y'all. There's been crazy stuff happening. But that being said, man, top 25, week 10, starting tonight. Number 1, November 1st, excuse me. Wow. November 1st, 2024. We've got San Diego State traveling to number 15, Boise State. And I have Boise State giving San Diego State what we call that work.
Well, Boise State has a 1 in there. Just you have to add a 5 behind it.
Yeah, I was looking at November 1st and number 15, and it just, it didn't work out on the delivery, but it's all good.
It happens, man. It happens.
It does.
But I tell you what delivery will work out just fine is Boise State's delivery of this L to San Diego State.
Facts. All right, Saturday, November 2nd, number 1, Oregon will go travel to play Michigan. This was supposed to be an exciting game, but Michigan forgot that they had a season this year, for the most part. Going Oregon.
Yeah, Michigan could put up more of a fight than people expect them to, just because they're going to be hyped for this game, but Oregon's going to
win it. Yeah. And then we have number 2 playing on November 2nd, 3:30 p.m., Georgia at Florida. I know I have one good friend, my co-host of Monarchs of Wrestling, Mr. Darnell Playmaker Salins, that is a Florida fan. I hope you're not watching, Georgia.
Well, my wife is a Florida fan, so I'm even more in it than you are. But fortunately, she's realistic. She's not going to care that I'm saying Georgia.
Nah, he's not going to care either. He's watched them play. He know what it is. All right, then we got not probably our best game of the week. We have number 4 Ohio State traveling to number 3 Penn State to play Penn State. Box, I'm gonna let you pick this one first.
My head says Ohio State, but I just got that feeling that it's gonna be a Penn State win.
I got that funky feeling about Penn State too. This is what, for me, Penn State, one of the things we know about Penn State, they don't do well against top 10 teams. They're even worse when they're ranked in the top 10 as well. So Penn State at some point has to come out and say, we here. We don't just get here, but we gonna beat somebody. And like the team that we're gonna talk about next, this is as good a year as any to go ahead and just keep winning. So I'm going Penn State too, sir.
Okay.
All right. Then at 12 noon, same time as Ohio State and Penn State game. Y'all gonna watch that. There's a better game to be on though. We got number 5 Miami hosting the Duke Blue Devils. I'm going Miami. I'm scared every week. You just don't like the pain, the suffering, the years of just nothingness. It takes a while to go away. Still working on myself, but I'm going Miami.
Listen, I say every week, Miami keeps playing with fire. Eventually, they're going to get burnt. But I don't think it's going to be this week because I don't think Duke is ready to go down there in that South Florida sun at noon, and they're gonna be thinking it's gonna be 60, 65 degrees outside. It's gonna be like 85 or 90 degrees probably out there, or at least gonna feel like it. And they're gonna be out there getting baked in that sun. I don't think they can keep up.
Yeah, and two, man, would do they get a lot of turnovers, but they don't capitalize on them.
Yeah.
And that's just not gonna work against Miami the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, I think Miami wins this game.
All right, then 7:45 p.m. Eastern time, we got Kentucky traveling to number 7 Tennessee. Kentucky gonna travel to hold the L. Hold it, L, Kentucky. Hold it. You hold that mother sucker.
I'm going to pick Tennessee, but I am putting this one on upset watch.
Okay. I dig it. All right, then we have all at 7:30 p.m. So you can watch 15 minutes of this before you watch Kentucky, Tennessee, if that's what you choose to do with your time. You know what I'm saying? Texas A&M number 10 traveling to South Carolina to play the Gamecocks in Columbia. Texas A&M.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M is starting to get some things figured out. They beat over LSU last week, so I'm going to take them over South Carolina.
All right, and then we got Texas Tech traveling to number 11 Iowa State. That's a 3:30 p.m. game. These are all Eastern time. Iowa State is what I'm going with.
Yeah, clones.
Go Clones. All right, then we've got at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Louisville traveling to number 11 Clemson. Louisville is now unranked. Got to go Clemson. Clemson has to keep winning to keep their possible spot in the ACC championship. You got to keep winning. So, got to keep winning. Got to keep winning. Got to keep winning. I'm going to go with Clemson to get the job done.
Yeah, this is the Clemson team. Found something. They've gotten things turned around. This was a Louisville team that's just in complete despair. I'm going to go Clemson.
He said despair. All right, we got number 13 Indiana traveling to play Michigan State, 3:30 p.m. I'm gonna go Indiana.
I'm also going to go Indiana,
but not the team in Indianapolis, Indiana this time. All right, then we've got number 17 Kansas State traveling to play Houston at 3:30 p.m. also. We'll go with Kansas State.
Yeah, they had a scare last week. I think they'll come out strong this week and get a win.
Yeah. All right, then at 8 p.m. Eastern time, another top 25 matchup. Number 18 Pitt travels to number 20 SMU. I think I'm going to go with SMU. Road teams, when they have to travel mid or cross country in the ACC, haven't been as impressive. So I'm going to go SMU.
I won't be surprised if SMU wins this game. But I feel like this is a Pitt team that kind of feels maybe that they're being a little disrespected, right? Everyone's just kind of looking at SMU and Clemson and Miami, and Pitt's just kind of like that forgotten team. I think they come out with a chip on their shoulder and get the win.
Ballsicle. I like it. All right, then we got number 19, Ole Miss traveling to Arkansas. This is a noon game. Ole Miss.
Yeah, I want to put this one on upset alert just because Ole Miss has been struggling lately, but they should be able to win this game.
Yeah. All right, and then we've got at 12 noon, We've got the Air Force traveling to play Army. Army is 21. Air Force is not ranked. I'm going to go with Army. West Point. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we already had Navy get knocked out in the top 25. Got to keep one of them in there, so go Army.
It's quite interesting logic, sir, but we'll roll with it. All right, then we also have the last game, top 25, because a couple people off this week. Minnesota is traveling to Illinois to play number 24, Illinois. 12 noon. Excuse me. I'm going to go Minnesota.
I'm going to go with Abraham Lincoln Peoples. That'll be Illinois if you don't know.
This guy, man. This guy, y'all. But that is our top 25 picks. Little notes, thoughts, and all that good stuff. So we're right around the midpoint here, y'all. Take a quick break. And then we'll be back with more Play Caller Sports Live. Go get 7 people and tell them to watch real quick. Perfect time.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets. Cool McCain.
You thought you wanted Gunther against Chad Gable, but you didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Chad Gable would take everything that Gunther's done and bury it.
The Playmaker.
It was on site. AJ Styles walked out there, seen LA Knight. Oh, okay, then LA Knight hopped out the car. Let's go.
Break down everything in TNA, AEW, and all of the WWE programming. Join these two kings, monarchs of wrestling, live every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the PlayCallers Sports Talk YouTube channel.
All right, good people. We are back in the building, and we got some NFL to talk for you. We'll start with that Thursday night game. We'll talk about anything that happened last week after, but this Thursday night game, that's got to be the first thing we talk about. So we see the Houston Texans fell to 6-3. Probably the worst performance I've seen from the Texans overall. CJ Stroud specifically. And I'll say this. It's crazy how when you have your top 2 receivers, you don't look nowhere near as good as you do. But if you're anybody besides a certain quarterback, you were handicapped, you had some extenuating circumstances. But when it's a certain person, he's just not good. I'm going to let y'all figure out where that goes. The Jets did enough to win. They had a touchdown get called back because you hold the ball, cross the line, and then you celebrate. You don't drop the ball as you're crossing the line. Don't do it. Whether you're
I don't
playing,
understand why people are so excited to get rid of the ball.
I don't either. You love balls. You play in the NFL, you love balls. Hold on to the ball. Squeeze the ball. Love the ball.
But don't let any air out of it, though.
Yeah. Don't let air out of it. Plus, that's not even original anymore. They already been doing it up in Cheatriot's country. We did have a comment. I was wondering if this was the rebranded AP or if this is a new individual. So I'm going to just ask, is this AP with the rebrand to the Oregon Ducks or is this a new individual? I'm going to say it's AP rebranded, and I'm going to say AP, you're talking tonight since I'm here. Just want to make sure. But AP says, let's go, Oregon Ducks. Oh, stuff don't want to work here, man. Tripping. Let's go, Oregon Ducks. There we go. AP also says, CJ Stroud is killing my fantasy team, shaking my head. And of course, as I expected, the rebranded AP, the one and only AP. All good, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, this is what kind of kills me, right? Is this the way that we judge quarterbacks, right? I'm not honestly seeing a lot of people be very critical of CJ Stroud this year. And he hasn't played well. For multiple games, he hasn't played well, right? And I think that's really a matter of like the league kind of catching up to him, right? Them dealing with, some stuff on the team as well. But I think a lot of it's just that natural thing that tends to happen with quarterbacks where people get film on you, they learn some of your tendencies and make adjustments to you, right? So year 2, most quarterbacks have a little bit of a step back. He had a phenomenal first year. He has a little bit of a step back. And that's okay. I still like CJ Stroud. I still think he's going to be long-term a great quarterback, but I just find it weird, like the way that we don't talk about, oh, he's struggling, yet we're so quick to point out when other people struggle, even if it's just one game. And of course, we don't talk about, another certain quarterback who's supposedly the best quarterback in the league, but isn't playing like it.
Patty Mayo, excuse me.
Heavens forbid we criticize him.
They'll shut our whole show down. AP says he needs his wide receivers. Yeah, he definitely does. I think that definitely helps him. He ain't getting Stephon Diggs, but he will be getting some help back, hopefully, after their mini bye week.
Okay, I mean, AP, I hear you, but I didn't hear anybody talking about he needs his wide receivers when Brock Purdy looked like crap against the Chiefs 2 weeks ago. And he was without Jawan Jennings. Debo was out sick, and IU got injured halfway through the game. I don't hear that for Jalen Hurts when he was without his top 2 receivers for like half the freaking season. I mean, there's other names we can mention too, but I'm just mentioning the names of the 2 quarterbacks of the teams that represent us.
Yeah. And we're 2 of the ones that get criticized a lot.
Yeah.
AP says Jalen Hurts had Barkley laugh out loud. That's facts.
I mean, it's not like he just tried out with no receivers.
True. And Barkley's not even a receiver. Now we're talking about running backs, not receivers, running backs. Running backs.
We talking about running backs all like they're in the same category.
Running backs. All right. So now we'll go back to last week. Unless you had any other thoughts on the Jets-Texans game.
Not really. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about there. I mean, I just think I think a lot of people are going to overreact and say that the Jets maybe got some things figured out and all this. And look, I mean, they should be able to put up some points, right? To me, the fact that you went out and you only scored 21 points and you had basically 2 number 1 receivers in your team, still kind of concerning.
Yeah, the Jets, they won the game, but they feel like they lost the war. Just my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? ain't really too much more to say.
I feel you. We're going to move on, man. We're going to move on.
Yes, sir. So for week 8, any games or matchups or anything that stuck out to you?
You know what? I'd have to even go back and remember who I played because the main game I cared about last week was
I have no idea.
Them boys getting beat. You're welcome, America. You're welcome.
And I also want to say that NFL.com needs to do a better job of updating their graphics. They still show the Jags and the Eagles as the 820 game, and we're not the 820 game because the NFL decided that a way trashier game should be the 820 game. But we'll talk about that when we get to this week because I got a few things to say about that. But Rams got a surprising victory, of course, last Thursday.
Yeah, we talked about that last. No, I was gonna say we talked about that one last week. I'll say for me, I think that the game I would acknowledge is shout out to my boy Jameis Winston. Came in, led the team to a dub over the Baltimore team, right? Don't y'all get too excited. I mean, Jameis will always have a soft spot for him. I always have a soft spot for him because he won my team a national championship. But the man gonna have some turnovers, so just accept it,
bro. Jameis Winston went out there and had a full sermon before the game for the boys.
He was doing that when he was the backup.
Yeah, but I mean, he turned it up.
That's just Jameis
as a starter, full sermon. He normally would just give him like a few snippets. He gave him a full sermon.
Yeah, Jameis loved to preach.
It seemed to work.
Yeah, he loved to preach.
Seemed to work. Now, a surprising game to me was the Patriots with a 25-22 win over the Jets last week because that's crazy work losing to the Patriots. It's crazy work to me. When you lose to the Patriots, that's crazy work. 100% crazy work. The way the Eagles beat the Bengals, the way the Lions beat the Titans, and somebody else got dog walked, if I remember. I'm trying to think who else it was that got dog walked. I guess those are the only two teams that really got dog walked. The Bills beat Seahawks. That's what it was, 31-10. Those are the dog walk. And those 3 pretty solid dog walkings. The Broncos gave up 14 points to the Panthers. To me, that's a loss. It's not a loss column, but just a loss. Like, you don't give up 14 points to the Panthers. Of course, the Chiefs won. We already know about that. And on Sunday Night Football, the San Francisco 49ers beat the Dallas Cowboys. Good job. Good job, Stephen Box. Good job, San Francisco. Good job to all of your players. I slightly forgive you from all the whining and complaining and nagging from when we play each other in the NFC Championship game. I'll give you 1% of nagging back. How about that?
We don't care.
1% of my disdain is gone.
We did it for us. With the rest of
gone. Hey, I didn't ask you to do it for me, but I'm glad you did it.
Yeah. You're welcome, America.
We were all marked safe from here, and we them boys, all of us.
I do want to talk about one final thing about last week, and that was the ending of the Washington and Chicago game. So I do want to start by acknowledging and giving some credit to Jaden Daniels for making a great play, right? Scrambled around, bought time, did everything he needed to do, gave people time to get in place, and threw a very nice football, right? Good height on it, gave his receiver the best chance to get it, did everything that you could possibly ask for a quarterback. So what I'm about to say is not taking away from him at all. But that was the most horrendous Hail Mary defense I have ever seen in my entire life. You literally had not one dude actually in the end zone playing defense. Not one. You got the guy who ball to the receiver over there taunting fans in the middle of the play.
Mm-hmm.
Horrid defense. Inexcusable.
I thought it was quite funny, but I didn't have a dog in the fight, so it always makes things a little bit more funny.
At my team, I would have been irate.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're
and they've been my team, I've been calling for the coach.
Yeah,
to
but
be
if you're a
fired.
Bears used to it,
But if you're a Bears fan, you're probably used to it. You're just like, we're the Bears. We're the Bears.
Look, Dad,
The
you've been calling
Bears.
for the coach. Look, you've been calling for the coach for like 2 years if you're the Bears fan, so it doesn't really nothing changed.
I know if you're talking about Bears or Eagles because it's true for both of us.
Yeah, I was talking about the Bears, but it is true for both.
I just want to throw it out there. Make sure people didn't forget that fact. All right. Let's get into these picks for this week. So we got Sunday, November 3rd. These are all one until we get to the 4 games. 3-4 Dallas Cowboys at 5-3 Falcons. Falcons defense has a monster game this week, and they win.
Soon to be 3-5 Dallas Cowboys.
5-3 Broncos at 5-3 Ravens. Soon to be 5-4 Broncos.
I would agree with it. Yes.
2-5 Dolphins at 6-2 Bills. I'm going Bills.
Yeah, I've got to go Buffalo as well.
2-6 Saints at 1-7 Panthers. So hear me out here. Hear me out. Hear me out. I say every week, if you play the Panthers, I'm going to automatically go with the other team. But hear me out. Just hear me out. The Saints may not have a starting quarterback. They got a lot of injuries. If there is a team who at this moment is putrid enough to lose to the Panthers, I think it is the Saints team. Matter of fact, I think it's going to happen. And what I believe to be an upset, I'm going to go with the hapless Carolina Panthers to get their second and probably last win of the season against a hapless, probably without their starting quarterback and half of the offense, New Orleans Saints. Or half the players, or a good amount of players. Half might be too many, but a good amount of players also out injured. I'm going to go Saints. I'm going to take an L to the Panthers. So, first time this season, y'all, I'm picking the Panthers to win a game.
This is officially my I haven't made a lot of these this year, but this is going to be officially one of my the biggest losers are going to be the people who watch this game picks. And outside of that, I'm going to go tails Carolina, heads New Orleans. It's tails, so we're going to go Carolina.
All right. AP says, watching that game, Watson playing Browns have no wide receivers. Next, Winston playing Wild Browns do have wide receivers. Laugh out loud. It's true. Anthony says, Carr is back Sunday. Nah, I'm not changing anything for me. Still going with the Panthers.
I thought he was trying to say the Panthers.
100% going with the Panthers.
I thought he was trying to say the Panthers was back, and he just put too many R's. I ain't seen Derek Carr, so I forgot about him.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to change anything. All right, we have the 2-6 Raiders at the 3-5 Bengals. Bengals.
The Bengals don't want to win football games. I'm convinced of it, but neither do the Raiders. So I guess I'm going to go Bengals.
4-3 Chargers at 2-6 Browns. J-Bo had his week. He had his sermon. All that good stuff. They won the game. Feel good. They got receivers. They much better. They got their running back, and they still gonna lose to the Chargers. One Chargers.
I like this Cleveland defense against the Chargers. I'm gonna go Cleveland.
I like the defense against the Chargers, but I don't like the offense against the Charger defense. But I feel you. 6-2 Commanders, 2-6 Giants. I should do a Coach Dante and just say pass, but instead I'm gonna say Commanders.
Pass.
Same thing, right? All right, then we got the 2-6 Patriots at the 1-6 Titans. Yo,
how we get so many matches with teams that don't want to win?
The Patriots have got to stumble into a win against the Titans, Joe. The Titans are that bad. They may be worse than the Panthers, bro. I'm going Patriots because I think the Titans are that bad. I think the Patriots are good, but I think the Titans are that bad.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with you. I'm gonna go to New England.
Kind of sucks to even say, don't it?
It does.
But it is the truth.
Hear the
All
truth.
right. All the truth, nothing but the truth. All right, 4-3 Bears at 4-4 Cardinals. We talk a lot about can both teams lose in the game. This would definitely be one of those where I would be going with that. But since somebody's got to win, I'll go Bears. They probably got better defense.
I gotta make my pick based on Rudy the interest here, so I'm gonna go Bears.
This guy. All right. 2-6 Jags at 5-2 Eagles. We're now in the 4:00 game. So just want to say, piss on you again, NFL. You moved us out of the spot so that you could put in the Colts and the Vikings. The Colts are complete doodle butter. Their quarterback doesn't even want to play. He took himself out of the game, so now they got the backup in. And then you got the Vikings who are slumping downward. So congratulations for taking us out for this trash. And it's a Kelly Green game. Do you know how much I loathe the NFL for taking away our ability to watch this Kelly Green game? Loathe you. On national TV. Loathe you. And one more time, NFL, we loathe you as a fan base. Hot urine all over you. Second week in a row. Last week we went from 4:25 to 1 o'clock. This week we go from 8:20 to 4 o'clock. What's next? You gonna put us on a Sunday morning and you gonna flex us in the Sunday morning now? You pieces of trash.
Hey, just remember they can't flex you to Thursdays.
Eagles.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Jacksonville is like hot butter melting through your biscuits. They're going to lose to Philadelphia. Now you're gonna be close.
Dirty
It's
hot butter.
gonna be a blowout.
We got a pretty good game here. We got the 6-1 Lions at the 6-2 Packers. The Packers, I feel like they can lose any week, but I feel like they can win any week. It's hard, bro. This is one of those games you're like, who's gonna win? Today on Friday, I'm gonna go Packers. Somehow pulling out a victory at home in the frozen tundras of Lambeau Field. So it should be pretty cold there by now. I'm going to go Green Bay right now.
They might be loveless in Green Bay. I'm going to go Detroit.
They kind of look better without him.
Yeah, but I'm still going to go Detroit.
I feel you. 3-4 Rams at 4-4 Seahawks. Rams. With or without Puka, Rams are better than the Seahawks. With or without Puka, Rams.
I say it all the time.
One more time for the people in the back. Rams.
I say it all the time. The Rams just have the Seahawks number. Rams.
Mm-hmm. The aforementioned unfairly flexed Colts, Vikings. Vikings are on a 2-game losing streak. They could lose a win. And here comes the 4-4 Colts team. They do have Flaccid Flacco playing. But I'm still going with the Vikings.
Yeah. The Colts quarterback is tired. So, he had to go take a break for a week. So Flacco could play.
Yeah.
It's like 25 years older than him. But I don't see Minnesota losing a third straight game. Yeah, I don't see Minnesota losing a third straight game here. I think they win.
Unless it was Kansas City, because
yes.
Speaking of Kansas City, 4-4 Bucks at 7-0 Chiefs. The Chiefs will be 8-0. Why didn't y'all flex this game out? Huh? Yeah, thought so.
You know why they're not?
Uh-huh.
They'll never
Patty Mayo.
Patty Mayo.
I'll never flesh out Patty Mayo. I agree. I'm going with Mayo and the Chiefs and the referees.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 29-man starting roster.
Not 20-man starting roster. I love it. All right, man. So, I had one other thing. Don't know if you had anybody or not, but is there any specific trades that you see happening?
It's hard to say this one, right? Because I think so much of it is going to really come down to what happens this week. So, for example, you look at a team like Cleveland, and it's easy to say, well, you know, Cleveland's probably in sell mode at this point. But a win this week,
Right.
you know, so you look at a guy like Zadarius Smith. If they decide that they're sellers, it would make sense to move on from him. If they decide that they're not quite done with the season, that's a guy that could actually stick around. You got a guy like Sebastian Joseph Day from the Titans. You know, still only 29. It's gonna be several teams out there looking for some defensive tackle help. So you can definitely see him being a guy that gets moved. Miles Sanders, you know, guy you're very familiar with, hasn't really panned out very well in Carolina, but he's only 27. Pretty much going to be like third. So somebody should be able to get him pretty cheap. So for a team looking for a little depth at running back, he would actually make a lot of sense as well. Then you got Brandon Eccles from the Jets is another one. Also Mike Williams from the Jets is another guy they might be looking at. Then you've got Calais Campbell as a guy who might be looking for an opportunity to get onto a contender because it doesn't look like the Dolphins are going to be that. And, you know, another team, if they lose this week in New Orleans, you know, they might look to see if they can trade Chase Young and get some out of him.
Makes sense. We got a couple of comments here from Damien. I figure we just save them all for one pop because we know somewhere in here is going to be something very blasphemous. It's Damien. So Damien says cars like Adam Cole, you do forget they still exist. Laugh out loud, which is actually true.
Yeah.
Damien is picking the Panthers. Come on. There we go. Damien's picking the Panthers. He's also picking the Patriots. He's picking the Cardinals. You do know that the new Call of Duty game is out. Just want to remind you of that. Then he gets the Knicks. He's picking the Colts. He says, hey, you can play a Nickelodeon game.
That was a reference to
Damien.
Philly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Then he calls for a tie.
of course.
Then the Rams.
Then he's got to call for at least one tie a week.
Yeah. And then he says, because Taylor Swift got to be on TV looking cute. That's why I laugh out loud.
Well, you got 50% of that right.
This is the moment where I don't want to be canceled, so I'm just going to not say anything.
Hey, I just said 50%. I let people decide which part is correct and which isn't.
Yeah, I don't have anything that I can be that diplomatic on, so I'm not going to say anything. Damien also says, you do remember we lost the stupid Hail Mary, right? Yeah, you did lose the stupid Hail Mary, and that's your own fault because your players should be lined up on defense instead of yapping at fans.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But
Like play stupid defense with stupid prizes.
and you definitely play stupid defense and got a stupid prize. So yeah, man. Make sure you guys are here next week. We'll be covering all of the trades that may happen, and want to at least slightly mention Deontay Johnson did get moved to the Baltimore Ravens. It's a curious trade, but maybe it works out. We'll see. It's a rental for the most part. It's a rental.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna
maybe it moves the needle. Maybe it doesn't. I don't think it's a bad pickup though. I think it has more potential to be beneficial. Worst case scenario is it doesn't really have much impact.
Right. I agree. I don't think it'll be anything that'll make them worse. It may make some of your fantasy players on that team worse, though. Especially some guys that may not have already been getting much time or much targets. Because you already had to be behind Andrews, Likely, you know what I'm saying, and the run game. Now you got more guys coming. Zay Flowers already wasn't really getting ball like that. So Rashad Bateman was the only person that was happy with the previous setup because he was getting a lot of targets. But digression is something I'm staying away from for the most part. Shout out Real Wise Radio, where you can find your boys live on for this whole entire episode and every week. Real Wise Radio. PlayCallers Sports Talk Live. A Marriage Made in Heaven. And 502 Angel Radio. Shout out to you as well, where you can hear your boys on there. Make sure if you're listening to this anywhere besides YouTube, that you grace your boys. Go to YouTube, search for Real PlayCallers. Go ahead and hit that like, that share, and that subscribe button. Look out for your peoples. Box, any last words before we get up out of here?
No, I'll just end it by saying, again, you're welcome, America.
Well, I'm gonna say it. This may hurt him, but I'm gonna say it. Go. It's all about the you. I'm gonna say it.
I mean, listen, I told you that we're going to lose that game. Cam had really realistic expectations. I'm not even hurt by it.
I'm just happy we're still undefeated. This is deep into the season for us to be undefeated.
Yeah, but Rob, if you're watching the replay, congratulations on Saturday. But see how the rest of your weekend went.
Cold-blooded. All right. Make sure you tell 4 people who you think are your friends that actually may not even like you, and 4 people who don't like you. Just because they don't like you doesn't mean they won't like us. And as always, it's never where you start. It's always where you finish. PlayCallers out.